Hello YouTube. I got a exciting video for you guys today. Just as soon as I get me a little coffee brewing here. Just got home from work and sitting on my porch was a special item today I think you guys are going to be particularly interested in, as I am. And let me tell you what it is before we go over there and unbox it and check it out. It is a portable cooler that runs on 12 volts and it uses very little power, so you can run it on solar, no problem. I've been interested in this item for a lot of years. I guess the guy started making these back in the late 80s. And I just never bought one because for my needs at the time, I really considered it. But at my needs at the time, I could run a full-size swamp cooler without too much difficulty. And the problem is I could get a full-size swamp cooler, a MightyKool, with you know, for the same money I could buy one of these. You know, and that hasn't really changed. The price of these things have stayed pretty much the same all these years. So we got the coffee brewing. Well, let's give this thing a look-see. I'm really excited about this. I really hope it works. One of the things about this device is there's very little independent information about this thing at all. I bet a lot of people are like me and are just like, that's expensive. I don't know if that works. I can't find anything about it. Without further ado, I guess my initial impressions by just looking at this box sitting right here is that it's way smaller than I thought it was going to be. Well, that's kind of an interesting packing job there. Shredded newspaper in a plastic bag. Well, that's definitely a new one. I mean, it works. There's no reason why that doesn't work. It's just and I guess a very short instruction manual here. This thing's real easy to set up, and I got a couple of tests that we're going to run. It looks as if the filter is already installed. The pad is already installed. I don't know what this thing looks like on the inside. Now, if there's some sort of trade secret of some kind in here, like some sort of magic unicorn or something is in here, I'm not going to show that on camera out of respect for the guy who made it. But this is how you would change the filter, so there's no problem in removing this. Like if I had to change the pad later on at another time, this is how one would go about doing it. There's no other way to do it. So we'll just look in here. This thing is really built well. I've got no issues with how it's built. It looks to be built very well. Craftsmanship and everything looks to be good. I'm not seeing anything that leaps out at me as cheap or anything. And let me get the top off of it here. Okay. Okay. So this is the cooling pad right here, made out of some sort of space age material of some kind. It's kind of spongy and kind of, I don't know. I don't know what that material is, guys. I don't know. And keep in mind, this is not my first rodeo when it comes to swamp coolers. I'm very familiar with them. I live in Arizona. I was born in Arizona. I was raised here in Arizona. I remember a time when swamp coolers is about all we had here. So in order to change this, you would just take these out and you would replace it, put a new one in. Seems pretty easy. As far as a pump, There is no pump. There is no water pump in this thing. That's really puzzling, because, like I said, I'm not a stranger to swamp coolers in any way, shape, or form. I understand how they work. So there's no water pump in here. So how how it gets water on the pad is a trick beyond my understanding at this point in time. I just want to show you the inside of it because nobody has ever shown the inside of it before. So it's a really simple really simple device. It looks like these 12-volt fans in the back. There's 2 of them, and I'm not sure of the brand because it's hidden and it's covered up. It looks like, because I'm also familiar with computer parts, 12-volt fans and things of that nature. Very familiar with those parts and what fans are good ones and what are not. Yeah, really simple device. So without further ado, I'm going to shut the camera off right now, and I'm going to come back after I put it back together. We're going to put water in it, and we're going to try it out, and we're going to get a verdict on this thing one way or another, and see whether or not it's useful for van dwellers. I think if this thing lives up to what we're told it is, this would be like the perfect device for for people who live in their vans in the summertime. So I'm going to tell you that one way or another. All right, let me get this thing put back together, and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay. Trying not to mess up my glasses. Let's see what we got here. Alright, I've had it running for a little while now, guys.